Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Cliff Ellis Show. I'm your host, Dave Ackert, joined with the one and only Cliff Ellis. Coach, you shocked a lot of people last week with the announcement of your retirement, including myself, the college basketball world. You're stepping away. What are your first thoughts?
Well, to catch my breath, to pull for this team. I'm not going to totally leave them. I'm going to stay as a consultant. You'll see through this show why I decided to, but I thought it was an opportunity to step away from the game. The transfer portal and the NIL has been weighing on us here at Coastal, weighing on me, and you know, it's been a tough battle. And at the same point in time, I wanted our coaches and our players to have this opportunity to show what they're made of and give our coaches an opportunity to, you know, prolong their career. And I turned 78 last week, and I decided it was time to step back and give my wife and family more time at this stage of my life. And I'm going to just catch my breath and see what develops, so to speak, and just go from there. And so it's been a whirlwind, and I've been very appreciative for everybody that's reached out. I mean, all over the country. I mean, I've had people reach out from out of the country, and hopefully this move will make a statement and say some things that need to be said about college basketball.
Coach, for maybe people that outside looking in, I mean, a lot of people, it was streaming on ESPN Plus, 3 different news stations here locally, online, on YouTube. I mean, it was, the ESPN Plus is the big one. You had a national audience.
Right.
What does that maybe say to just, I mean, so many people you've impacted over such a long career?
I've been blessed, and were it not for those blessings, that wouldn't have happened. But I've had great players, I've had great coaches, I've worked at great universities, schools, and all of that combined, and some hard work and dedication. But the people that have been around me have just made it what it is today. And the relationships, I mean, my gosh, I mean, since this happened, I've probably been on the phone 40 minutes of every hour that I've been awake, texting, Zooming, doing interviews, whatever. And that just says a lot about what has transpired over the last few years, several years, many years.
Right. We're going to talk about the announcement a little more. The first thing I wanted to ask really is the moment itself. You were there with so much family. I was there. What was that like?
Tough from the standpoint of, you know, how much investment your players have had, your coaches have had, but your family's had. I mean, you've invested a lot. I mean, you take this time of year at Christmas. Coaches don't really get Christmas. They get about 3 days. And you open presents, and you got to go to a game. You're gone while they're in school. You know, there may be anniversaries that you can't be at home for, you know, things like that. So it's emotional, but we also know what a blessing it's also been, and they know that the game has been good to them. It's supported them, and so bittersweet.
Yeah, I think the word I used a lot the day of the announcement was emotional. It was an emotional. It was an emotional day, an emotional announcement. Bittersweet, I think, is a good word for it. You know, there was a moment of celebration, but also, you know, we have to look forward, because you said you're not going to be away from the game, away from this team.
No.
So I think there is still a lot to look forward to as well for players and fans.
Absolutely. You know, Cliff Ellis is not going to go in a hole and stay. Something, I'll be involved with something, you know, and Carol and I are involved with charity work. We're involved with helping kids that are less fortunate, you know, making sure that they get an education. And my wife has been the impetus around that, and now perhaps we can even do more.
So, Coach, speaking of that announcement, we're going to jump over to that real quick, and we're going to hear more from that after a word from our sponsors.
The Cliff Ellis Show is sponsored by HTC, Logan Steakhouse, United Bank, Beach Realty, Waccamaw Land and Timber, A&I Fire Restoration, Great Southern Wood, and Britton Law Firm.
HTC is here to connect you to the things that matter most in your life. With the area's largest fiber optic network, HTC is here with the fastest speeds to help power your day. Do a little multitasking. Keep the peace. All to help your day run smoother than ever before. See how HTC is here to connect you to your world. And take advantage of these great offers today.
Another trial, another battle. Where's your strength? Tenacity. What's your history? Fighting for my clients in court. But what sustains me now is working with three of the finest individuals I've ever known. My family. There's power in family. Power for our clients. Fighting for your rights is my family's business.
Britton Law. Hand-cut USDA choice beef, expertly butchered by Logan's in-house professionals, and grilled to perfection over mesquite wood fire. Yeah, that's steak done right. Don't want steak? Logan's mesquite flame-grilled, fresh, never-frozen chicken and wild coho salmon are sure to please. Logan's, fresh food, cooked to perfection, just for you.
And hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cliff Ellis Show. Coach, we talked a lot about the announcement about a week ago of your retirement, and you had some pretty heartfelt and really touching words. So we wanted to jump from us and jump right over to that amazing press conference. So here, go ahead and take a look.
Charlie Hodge reached out to me through a friend, Danny Ford. Most of you know Danny. Asked me if I'd be interested in Coastal. Charlie asked Danny to call me. Then I called some people here and got me in touch with Jack Green. Jack Green got me in touch with Billy Alford, and it went from there. And I got to thinking. I said, Coastal Carolina, one winning season in 13 years, Division I. I love to build. I mean, the jobs I've taken: Cumberland, South Alabama, Clemson, Auburn. They all needed help. And that's what I did. I didn't choose Kansas, Kentucky, Duke. I chose building. And this place gave me that chance. The Atlantic Ocean, Grand Strand, check. Division I, check. Beach music, check. So I'm very grateful to those people. I wouldn't be here without them. And then Dr. DeCenzo, who hired me. Dr. Benson and I have just developed a special relationship. He is a man that is well written. I don't know if you know this, but he has a book that among educators today is just flying off the top of the charts. I've gotten calls from other universities, some of my own universities, saying, wow. He's nationally known. He's not just locally known. He's nationally known. And we all need to understand that. He's a man of character. plays the organ in his church once a month. And he's as good a man as I've ever worked for. ESPN, thank you. Thank you. John Feinstein, great writer. You've been great. Thank you for your words. Thank you for your support over the years. And thank all of you people. Look at this media. Look at you. And Cornbloot, I remember when you started. I was shocked that you came all the way down, but I remember you. I remember when you were a baby. I remember your first show. And all you guys, all you guys right here. Well, it's just been wonderful. Brandon, all of you guys. It's been wonderful. It's been fun. It's been a journey. I won't forget it. I'm going to lose it here. Friends and supporters. Jeez, the best. I can't call you names. Take too long. And finally, none of this could have happened without the wonderful players and coaches that have worked with me. Your name's on this win list. Be proud. Now, I came to the decision for these reasons. I had planned to retire at the end of the year. I really did. I really did. But in fairness to the staff and the players, I wanted to give them a chance to put it together and give Benny Moss and the staff this opportunity. Selfishly, I could have tried to get 10 or 12 more wins. I don't need it. I don't need it. Selflessly, I want them to have it. 9 new faces, good players, good staff, a lot of freshmen. They'll peak in January. They will. You watch. They'll do it. They'll do it. And I'm going to help them. I'm not going to leave them cold turkey. I'm going to be a consultant for them. I'm going to do that.
Where's Olivia?
Upstairs taking a bath. You think he's cute? He's in 2 of my classes.
Oh, sugar, you're about to have a mess on your hands. Upstairs, you got about 40 gallons of water that's getting ready to destroy your ceilings and your floors.
Olivia, tub, now. Geez, that was a close one.
Glad to help, honey. But let me tell you, when it comes to those teenage hormones, you are on your own. Trouble doesn't always come with a warning. You can rely on A&I.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
HTC is here to connect you to the things that matter most in your life. With the area's largest fiber optic network, HTC is here with the fastest speeds to help power your day. Do a little multitasking. Keep the peace. All to help your day run smoother than ever before. See how HTC is here to connect you to your world and take advantage of these great offers today.
Now, a huge reason for all this is the transfer portal and NIL. It's on an unsustainable path for intercollegiate athletics. It is. We've lost key players the last 3 years. I'm a teacher of the game, but lately when I teach and the player peaks, somebody comes and takes them. I've faced many challenges in these 50-plus years. And this is the first challenge I've not been able to overcome. I do very much agree, and I want everybody to understand this, that college athletes deserve compensation. Coaches, universities, conferences, the NCAA benefit insanely from the economic success that college athletics has created, and the players rightly deserve some compensation for being the major creators of the success. But there has to be a cap somewhere on all this, and there has to be transparency. As with all unbridled economic development, the possibility for unfair advantage and fraud and underhanded misuse of the intended purpose of the structure exists today. I'm seeing and hearing all kinds of horror stories. I mean, millions and millions of dollars for a quarterback seems insane to me. We have the NFL. We have the NBA. A few years ago, universities giving a T-shirt could invite an investigation. Now several $1 million might get you a quarterback. Come on. I hear of players transferring, understanding they were going to get a certain amount of money, to go in and find out that they didn't get the kind of money they thought they were going to get or were told to get. Now players are suing universities. Today they're suing universities. Where are we going? Where are we going? The past few years, I felt like a general manager, looking at the draft board for available players and realizing if we don't have money in a collective, we will not have much success. Well, right now, we don't have any money. We don't. I will continue to spend the rest of this year and whatever other time it takes needed to help CCU maneuver through this landscape. It is now my mission to explore ideas and methods for addressing the changes that are occurring. I'm going to serve as consultant with the coaching staff and with these players through the end of the year. Carolyn and I will continue to serve the community with our foundation. Our mission is to help at-risk kids on the Grand Strand. Last night, we helped host an event for kids that are at risk. 15 years ago, when us, along with several other people, started this, we raised $8,000. A year ago, we raised $190,000. That's what kind of community we have. Today, and most importantly, I am calling on Congress, the NCAA, and all who have influence in the arena of college athletics to mend the damage created by the sudden and unfettered introduction of the transfer portal and NIL and its funding into college athletics. Case Britton's here. You're with the legislature here. There's state laws. Start working on it. Help us. Help us. Solutions may include some type of cap on player compensation, certainly transparency in all transactions, and on revenue sharing. We need to know what everybody else is doing. Nobody knows what anybody's doing. Thank you again to all of you. I've enjoyed you. I will still enjoy you. I love you all. Thank you, God, for the gifts. Now let's move on to the next chapter. Thank you.
For 5-star backyards, Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it.
Hand-cut USDA choice beef, expertly butchered by Logan's in-house professionals and grilled to perfection over mesquite wood fire. Yeah, that's steak done right. Don't want steak? Logan's mesquite flame-grilled, fresh, never-frozen chicken and wild coho salmon are sure to please. Logan's, fresh food, cooked to perfection, just for you.
Waccamaw Land and Timber has been serving the Grand Strand since 1982. The ultimate goal of Waccamaw Land and Timber is to achieve the best interests of both the buyer and the seller. We can handle all of your commercial real estate needs. But if you're just looking for a place to relax, hunt, or fish, the professionals at Waccamaw Land and Timber can find you the perfect recreational property as well. Call 843-449-0441 to discuss your real estate needs with Waccamaw Land and Timber.
Where's Olivia?
Upstairs taking a bath. You think he's cute? He's in 2 of my classes.
Oh, sugar, you're about to have a mess on your hands. Upstairs, you got about 40 gallons of water that's getting ready to destroy your ceilings and your floors.
Olivia, tub, now. Geez, that was a close one.
Glad to help, honey. But let me tell you, when it comes to those teenage hormones, you are on your own. Trouble doesn't always come with a warning. You can rely on A&I.
The Cliff Ellis Show is sponsored by Britton Law Firm, Great Southern Wood, Waccamaw Land and Timber, Logan Steakhouse, Beach Realty, A&I Fire Restoration, United Bank, HTC.
All right, and welcome back to the Cliff Ellis Show, everybody. Coach, you said it perfectly the day you made the announcement, and some of those words really resonated nationally, especially when it comes to NIL and just where college athletics are going in general. But for us here specifically, when it comes to sticking with the team, you've mentioned that a couple of times. What is it for maybe, I mean, you've said you're going to be a consultant with the team and still be around. What do you think that's going to look like on a day-to-day for you?
Well, I wanted the players and coaches to know, this is your opportunity. Benny Moss is going to run this basketball team. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to be here for the players. I'm going to encourage them. When I see something, I'll tell them, but I'm going to let Benny Moss do his thing. So I'm going to be very supportive, and I'm going to help wherever they need me to help. And I will watch films. I will give them thoughts. And so it'll still be fun. But I wanted the players to know, okay, I'm not just walking out the door and leaving you. The coaches, I'm giving you this opportunity. You're going to do the team. I'm not sitting on the bench. I'm not traveling to road games. I will be here. I'll be sitting upstairs. I'll take down my notes. Whatever you need from me, I'm here for you.
Awesome. Back to your NIL call out. You even called out Congress at one point,
yes,
and state leaders.
Please.
It made a splash. What have you heard in response?
Well, I've heard from people. I've heard from politicians. I've heard from people, we got to do something. We got to do something. We got to do something at the state level. We got to do something at the national level. I know Case Britton and I have talked about it here locally. Tommy Tuberville, who's in the set, who coached with me at Auburn, we've discussed issues. There's a plan. There's things to do. It's going to take time, but these are the things that have to be done. We've got to work on it at the state level and the national level, and that's where I want to come in and whatever voice I've got. And it's drawn attention, so maybe it can get bigger and we move from here.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of working,
Well,
and I think you're going to stay busy.
It's working right now. We'll see what happens a month from now when the dust settles,
I thought this was more going to be an announcement on how much golfing and maybe singing on yachts you're going to do.
Well, I'm going to get back, I'll be able to go to more music things and things of that type. But, my focus is going to be with this team. And look, before the next show, on December 21st, there's a home game during the holidays with North Carolina A&T. First conference game is December 30th with Troy, home game, and then we'll have our next TV show before that. But there's a lot of games, but I want to point those two out. and let's come and support this team.
Yeah, new year, new flip the schedule. I mean, I think college basketball teams, you kind of always, let's see where we are in January, right? You want to do the non-conference schedule.
That's right.
But it really gets going.
That's conference play.
Yeah, we really got to step things up, get the home crowd out to games.
Absolutely.
But Coach, another thing I wanted to maybe, I don't know if I'm even telling people, but they might already know, just how big this announcement was. No one can. You're one of the most successful, top 10, number 9 in active wins when you stepped away. To put in perspective for people, the people before you, it was Jim Boeheim, then it was Bob Huggins, and now that you have stepped away, it's John Calipari at Kentucky. Those are the kinds of names we're talking about. What is that like? I mean, what is that like?
Well, Cal called me. John and I are friends, and he called me the next day, and he gave a great shout out. I think they were playing Penn on CBS, and he, honored my career, and I welcomed him. I said, "Hey, the door's yours, buddy. It's yours." And he's now the winningest coach, and Cal's been a friend for a long time, and so those are the kind of things that have happened. I mean, it's Coach K and I talk. All these guys that we've been on the phone, and they'll call and check to see how I'm doing. I'm saying, "I'm okay. How are you doing?" But it's Cal's time now, and somebody else will take Cal's place. Somebody will pass me somewhere. But I've had my time. It's been wonderful, and it's time. It's time to move on to something else.
Right. And like we said earlier, you're going to stay busy. You're going to stay with the team. And this team has a lot to look forward to. You've said a couple times that they might peak in January. Looking at those 2 games, the home games you mentioned, what do they maybe need to do just as we look ahead for the new year?
Well, I think the big thing right now that's hurting our team is the opponents shooting 3-point shots. And then we've gotten beat rebounding. I think those 2 things have got to be worked out. It was happening while I was coaching them, and Benny these guys know what to do. The system's in play. But the team has got to focus on that.
And so, Coach, we're going to have another episode after the new year and after those games that you mentioned, and we'll actually have new head coach Benny Moss on the show and talk to him about maybe how this transition's going and how the team's looking.
Absolutely. We will keep you posted on Coastal Carolina basketball, and you'll get to meet our players, and it's going to be an exciting January, February, and March.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Coach, and thank you again, everybody, for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time.